Welcome to 3 Reasons Why, where I pick a book and I give you 3 reasons why you should read this book. But this month, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should listen to this book. That's right, all audibles all month on 3 Reasons Why. I picked some good ones and I'm so excited for this. Now, this first one I picked, Sarita from Sipped and Read had a little to do with it because Nikki and Sarita from Sipped and Read have introduced Kennedy Ryan to me, and I have become a big fan. The first book I read by her was Real, and I loved it, like loved it. And as I say, I listened, and as I read and listened to the Audible at the same time. But that's not the book I'm going to discuss because I feel like it needs more time to discuss that one. So the book that I will be discussing tonight on 3 Reasons Why is 1001 Dark Nights, The Close-Up, a Hollywood Renaissance hoops novella by Kennedy Ryan. So, like I said, I've become a new fan of Kennedy Ryan's. I've read Real. This is the second book I've read by her. And reading this book made me want to read like the Hoop series because they were so interesting and so much fun. And I kind of wanted to wait because I'm so excited for Kennedy Ryan's new release, Before I Let Go, coming out next month. I have already got my book. I've already pre-ordered my book, the hardback, and I've also already pre-ordered my Audible. So I cannot wait. Like, I feel like I should take a day off just to focus on that book. I don't know. Maybe I will. Let's see. So let's get started. Now, again, this book is The Close-Up, a Hollywood Renaissance hoops novella by Kennedy Ryan. And I'm reading the synopsis. Set in the dynamic worlds of professional basketball and entertainment, two of Kennedy Ryan's most critically acclaimed series, Hoops and Hollywood Renaissance, collide in this tale of forbidden romance. I met Nazareth among Armstrong when I was 18 years old. From the beginning, my brother warned me to stay away from him, told Naz to stay away from me. Our hearts didn't listen. I shared one magical night under the stars with my brother's rival, thinking it was the start of a once-in-a-lifetime something, but one awful moment ended it all. Years later, when we meet again, we've both pursued our dreams, lived a little, found success, but never found love. What began as a tiny flame when we were young now threatens to consume us. I'm more drawn to Naz than ever, but his complicated history with my brother makes whatever this could be nearly impossible. But Naz accepts impossible as a dare. Through his clever maneuvering and dogged determination, I find myself on a yacht with him and his friends cruising through the Mediterranean. It's a whirlwind set ablaze. Away from reality, surrendering to the tender heat of his touch, I forgot that everything could burn. Okay, so this is the love story of Takir, who first appears in Real. She is, oh, I'm so mad I cannot remember her name, like Crystal. Goodness gracious. St. James, that's terrible. She's the main female character's best friend. And it's so sad because like the name is like right here and I can't even spit it out. So hold it to my head, not my heart. But they're best friends. And it's a book one of the Hollywood Renaissance series. Characters from the Hoop series also make appearances, which is true. But you do not have to read any of those books to enjoy this one. But like I said, I wanted to read it. Now I remember, it's Neva St. James. That's who Takira's best friend is in Real. Duh. All right. So let's get started on my 3 reasons why. Now, Naz's real name was Nazareth Armstrong. Nazareth Armstrong. Naz. That was one beautiful man. That's all I can say. Now, if you're new to me, again, I always go from my third reason, my second reason, and then my first reason. Okay? So, Takira and Naz met senior year. Her brother they were all on the basketball team together, but her brother told Takira to stay away from the basketball team, and he told the basketball team to stay away from his sister. And he was like adamant about it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, stay away from my sister. And Takira and Naz met at their house. Cliff, which is Takira's brother, had like a potluck to celebrate them going to the championship and invited the whole team over. And that's when Takira and Naz met. It was like love at first sight. At 18, they knew that they wanted to be with each other. Okay. Now, something happened at the championship game that changed everything for Cliff, for Takira, for Naz. Now, for Takira and Naz, it was for the better. For Cliff, it wasn't for the better. And for years, Cliff was just not a happy person. I mean, he got into some things that he needed help with, and he finally got himself together. So Takira was just worried about her brother and, didn't want him to go back to where he used to be. So my third reason for picking this book was, well, it wasn't my reason. It's the third reason I feel like you should read the book. Okay. And the third reason is misplaced anger. Now, the reason I said misplaced anger, Cliff, her brother, did something the night of the championship, and it changed his whole entire life. And when it changed his life, it also changed Naz's life. And Cliff felt that Naz was the fault. Like, he blamed Naz all these years because Naz got like the life. He got NBA contract. He played in the NBA. He's won a championship. And Cliff was a better basketball player than him. So, but like I said, it was a decision that Cliff made that changed his life forever. So why is he mad at Naz? Like, to me, I was just like so irritated by that. Because I'm like, you did this to yourself. You did this. And then you're holding your whole family and like a hostage. I feel like he had his whole family in a chokehold, and they was kind of like still walking on eggshells around him because they didn't want to upset him, because they were scared he was going to relapse into what he came out of to become a better person. So Takira's brother was definitely mad at Naz because Naz made it and he didn't. Why Takira can't be with the one who makes her happy? And that's how I felt, because she was so in love with Naz, and they loved each other. Like, you can see it in the beginning, like I said, when they were 18, they saw each other. They had this cute little magical night. They wanted to see each other again. And then, like I said, something happened where they didn't see each other anymore. But it was just beautiful to watch them. And like I said, we met them at 18, and then nothing happens. And then we see them together 12 years later. And literally, she fell in his arms. How beautiful is that? So my thing is, I love that part where Kennedy Ryan made her fall into his arms. Literally fell into his arms. It's not physically, not figuratively speaking. It's literally, physically, she fell into his arms. And that's how they saw each other again. Okay, so my second reason you should read this book is Attentive Man. Naz was the most attentive man I have ever read. Do you hear me? Ever. I have never read a man as attentive as this man is. This man is rich. He's famous. He can have any woman he wants. Any woman that had him and had him they probably like losing their mind because now he's off the market. But he knew where his heart was. Like, I felt like Takira took his heart and he took her heart at 18. And like I said, they never found love. They got everything else out of life except for love. But to see how Naz was so attentive to her, oh my gosh. So he got one of his friends to invite her on the yacht that they were on for 2 weeks for one of his friend's birthday. So she came, like, she knew it was up, he had something to do with it, but she came and she was like, okay, I'll give you these 2 weeks. Like, basically, I'll give you these 2 weeks. There was no way she was walking away from that. And he made it a point that she was not walking away from that. This man would wash her face, put her shoes on, get her dressed, put her lotion on, put her scarf on, anything. Like, he did any and everything for her. Like, each port they stopped at, that he bought her gifts so she would come back to her room and there's gifts. I mean, he was just so attentive, and you can see the love exuding from him. He told her, you thinking it's over in 2 weeks? This is not over. It will never be over. And I love that he constantly made it a point to tell her, we are in this forever, like forever. And I love that, definitely. And one part I loved, it was when they were going to the last party, the white party that they had for Naz's friend Keenan. And to me, like I said, it was very sensual to me because he always did extra for her. But he's like, sit down. So he rubbed her down with her lotion. He put her dress on. He put her shoes on. Like, he just did so much. And it was just beautiful to read and to hear. I loved it. Definitely loved it. Okay. And my number one reason why you should read this book, because second chances. They finally got their second chance. They didn't get each other the first time, but they sure did the second time around. And like I said, they were 18 when they met. It was, oh, we're 18, and who's really in love at 18? I feel like you are if you know what you want out in life, or if you meet that person and it's like your hearts are together. I mean, then you can grow together. I just thought it was just beautiful. Like I said, they did spend 12 years apart from each other, and they both got what they want. Takir wanted more. And I loved when he asked her, what do you want? What are your dreams? And she told him to have my own makeup line. I'm going to stop talking because I feel like I'm giving away too much of the story. All I can say is read this book. It was so good. It was such a great read. I couldn't put it down. I think I finished this book, I would say a day and a half, and that's only because I'm reading other books as well. But I finished this book in a day and a half, and I loved everything about it. Like, everything. Now, let's talk about the narration. And give me a second, because I'm going to find the names of our narrators, because when I say the narrators did the dang on thing, the narrators did the dang on thing. I felt like they brought the book to life even more. One thing I do like about Kennedy Ryan books, you get, especially with Real, we got the music, we got the singing. So I feel like I'm there. Like, it's like I'm watching a movie. And that's why I liked it so much, because it was like, watch this movie with me. You hear them talking, you're watching a movie. And I definitely loved that about the book. So let me look, because I'm trying to find who narrated the book. And most of the time it's kind of like right there, but for some reason I can't see it. And I'm kind of sad about that. So let me go back, and I'm looking for it. Okay, so this book was narrated by Marissa Hampton and Winston James. I love Winston James as Naz. Like, it was no ifs, ands, buts about it. I felt like Winston James' voice was perfect for Naz. Like, perfect. It was perfect. I can't say anything bad about it. Now, this was my first time hearing Marissa Hampton, and she was Takir. I loved her voice because I felt like Takir she had like the older, and then Takira was from, Trinidad. So, Marissa went into her Trinidad accent sometimes and, would say the ting instead of thing. I loved it. So I definitely loved both of them narrating this book together. Now, I like to always give a quote, and this was my favorite quote from the book. And give me a second, I'm going to get back to it so I can tell you. Okay, so my favorite quote from the book. Okay. And here it is. And this is like between Naz and Takir. It was not just hers. It was both of them. Because it was kind of like a conversation they had. So he said to her, then tell me what you want. And I'll go back. So basically, once they got to the end of the boat, he told her he wanted to be with her. He was like, I want you to move in with me. I want us to be together. And she was like, no, whoa, slow down, sir. Like, no, not yet. So he said, then tell me what you want. She said, I want us to make plans and to feel anticipation as I get dressed, knowing the doorbell will ring and it's you. I want to kiss you goodnight and get the chance to miss you when you're gone. I want to wonder when I'll see you again. I run a hand over the back of my neck. It's silly. He said, I like that too. I just thought that was beautiful because he knew what he wanted. She knew what he wanted, but she felt he was moving a little too fast. So she was like, slow down. So this is what I want. Now, again, like I said, I loved this book so much. It was such a great read. So if you have not read it, please pick it up and read it. And again, the name of the book is 1001 Dark Nights, The Close Up, a Hollywood Renaissance Hoops novella. And this is by Kennedy Ryan. And my 3 reasons why you should read them is, my third reason is misplaced anger. The second one is an attentive man. And the very first one is a second chance. Alrighty. So again, join me next week when I give you a new book with an Audible. Yes, Audibles. That's so weird, but I'm loving it. And I give you 3 reasons why you should read this book. Until